check with it, John.
They're welcome to do that. Not everybody's working, but it's not we'll figure it out. We'll get there.
Stay tuned for Airgun Detectives.
Welcome to another episode of Airgun Detectives. I'm your host, JC, and today our 1911 series continues, and we get to take the mystery out of the Colt Special Combat series. This is a classic. Anyway, before we get started on that, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down in the corner. It doesn't cost you anything. It's absolutely free, but it really helps support the channel. And if you have time, check out my website at www.airgundetectives.com. On that site, I've got t-shirts, I've got hats, I got my bipods, and occasionally I also have some inventory that I liquidate. Anyway, so let's have our 1911 series continue. And today, as I said, we're featuring the Colt. This is the Special Combat Classic. This is a CO2 powered 1911 model gun. And this one's been around for quite some time. It's so I think Classic actually fits it quite well. This is powered by a 12-gram CO2, and it shoots 4.5 millimeter or .177 caliber steel BBs. It is a non-blowback. However, the slide does come back on it. You can actually even lock it back if you like that. It is a single action or double action. So double action or single action. It's got this great two-tone finish. And the really cool thing about it, this entire gun is metal with the exception of the grips. And the actual grips that I'm showing you on here, these are custom-made wood grips. I'll get into that with you later. These actually come with plastic grips on them, just like it's in the picture here. In fact, I can show them to you. So the grips that they actually come with look like this. They're actually not bad looking. They really aren't. But that's what the grips look like. Anyway, but I'll talk to you a little bit more about the wood grips later. This comes with a 20-round dropout magazine. That simple, 20-round dropout magazine. So the magazine itself, it contains your CO2, and it has the piercing valve all set right into it. It's just got this little hand crank on it. It also takes 20 BBs. It takes 20. So this is a 20-round magazine. I really like the dropout magazines because your whole valve, everything is right here. If there's an issue with your valve, you can either work on it or replace it. It's pretty cool. But again, dropout magazine. This gun, like I said, is all metal. Again, I'm going to tell you it's a non-blowback, but with that, they claim you're going to get about 100 shots per CO2. You guys have to remember, the blowback uses a substantial amount of gas to push that slide back. So you usually get more shots out of the non-blowback. This gun itself, it weighs over 2 pounds, without a doubt, over 2 pounds. It feels really authentic when it's in your hand. It's 8.5 inches overall. It's got a 5-inch barrel. And they claim this will shoot about 400 feet per second. But I have to tell you, one of the best features on this entire gun is fully adjustable sights. It's got fully adjustable sights for elevation and windage. So that's great. So if your point of aim happens to be off, you can adjust this to that specifically. But like anything else, let's go ahead and take it out and test it, and we'll see how well it performs. Again, they're claiming it'll shoot about 400 feet per second, but we'll test it. We'll find out. So stay tuned for the next segment. Let's test our Special Combat, our Colt, over the chronograph. We'll take 5 shots, average it out. It's not overly a warm day. It's probably in the, it's in the 60s. But let's just take 5 shots and we'll average that out. See how well we do here. All right, shot number 1, 412. Shot number 2, 420. Shot number 3, 420 again. Shot number 4, 409, and shot number 5, 416. Yeah, when you're shooting the non-blowbacks, you have a tendency to get a little bit more velocity because it doesn't use the extra gas to push the slide back. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's do a little accuracy test on our Special Combat model here, a little 1911. One thing I do really like about this is the adjustable sights, because you can adjust that for point of aim. So hopefully we'll be on our point of aim today. But we're just going to shoot our standard 5.1 grain zinc BBs, and we're going to use our splatterburst targets. I'll leave a link for you down below, but these are great because they really show our impact point. Especially if you're older like me and you don't see distance as well as you used to. Those work out really well. But we're at our usual 10 meters. Go ahead, take a quick look. All right, let's just shoot 5 shots, see how well we group. And one more. Wow, that is a heck of a group. A smooth bore at a little over 30 feet, 32 feet, whatever it is. That's pretty amazing, it really is. All right, let's move on to the next segment. Let's test our Special Combat. We'll test the trigger weight on it. We'll do it both in double action and single action. So we've got our trusty Lyman trigger gauge. Let's reset that. Let's see how well we do here. Okay, 7 pounds, 12 ounces. That's in double action. 7 pounds, 12 ounces. Okay, single action. Let's reset this. See how well that does. 3 pounds, 9 ounces. 3 pounds, 9 ounces. Yeah, it's actually a pretty nice trigger, believe it or not. Even the double action doesn't feel like 7 pounds. It feels very controllable. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, my favorite portion, any review, the plinking session. So let's see how well our Special Combat does. Let me show you about how far out we are. Same thing, 32 feet, about 10 meters. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot the bottom row, and then we're going to work our way up on the top row, and we'll see how well we can do here. I'm not making any promises, but let's see how we go. All right. This thing hits hard. That little shotgun shell. And last but not least, not bad. This thing, so I tell you once again, when you got the non-blowback, you got a little bit more velocity out of these. But anyway, let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's wrap this up with our conclusion here. Well, how did our Colt do overall? Really, really well. I'm actually pretty impressed. And I've had this gun for quite some time. I've had it for many years, and it's still quite the performer. But like anything else, let's talk about the negatives. Okay, probably my number one negative on this is, and I'm being picky because they're really not that bad looking, but it's the plastic grips. I don't like really the plastic grips. I don't like the feel of them. But here's my negative. It's not so much it comes with plastic grips, is these are not standard 1911 grips. For instance, the grips on my Classic here, my Tang Folio, these here are standard 1911 grips. You just have to hollow those out to get them to fit on these guns, but they're the right size. The difference is these are not. So you cannot buy custom 1911 grips. These are 100% unique to this gun. So I had to actually custom make these wood grips from scratch to get these to fit just right. They're a little thinner and the screw holes are a little farther apart. I wish they would have used standard grips on that. So that's one of my minor pet peeves on that. So it's not easy to replace the grips, but that's really it. That's really my only negatives on this. So let's get into the positives. The positives, this gun feels fantastic in your hand. It really does. I love the fact that it's all metal. It just feels really solid. I love the two-tone finish. If you guys have seen, well, some that I've had to do this on my own is the two-tone finish, but it actually comes that way. I like the fact it's got the little chrome accents on it. It looks good. The two-tone is really impressive. Performance-wise, great velocity. They claim it gets 400 feet per second. We exceeded that. And we actually exceeded that by a decent percentage. So the accuracy on these are fantastic. And the best part is you have the adjustable sights, so you can dial this thing into its actual point of impact, which is great. The sights on this, it does have a little white dot in the front, and then I took, yes, once again, some of you guys give me a hard time for this, but I took a little white nail polish and just put a little outline on each side of the rear sight, and it makes it actually quite a good sight picture. Anyway, that's just a thought there. So the trigger, I like the trigger on it. Even though it's a double single action, it's really smooth. The double action is very, very smooth, and I think it has to do with the shape of this trigger too. It gives you the right leverage on it. And then the single action is fantastic. It's great, the fact the slide does move. You can actually cock it each time like that. The dropout magazine is a huge plus. It has the 20 rounds. And speaking of which, we do get, depending on weather, it's a little cooler right now, but depending on weather, you get 100 rounds out of this per a 12-gram CO2. So that's really good, 100 shots per CO2. Yeah. Here's the part that should be a little concerning. I don't think they're manufacturing this gun anymore. I think what you see is out there. So if someone has these for sale, me personally, I would be jumping on and getting one of these, because I don't think they make them anymore. I think when they're gone, they're going to be gone. Oh, one other thing I need to mention, a positive, is I like the fact they put the Picatinny rail on the front here, because that way you can attach, you know, any type of laser or anything else that you want to go with, something in that direction. But overall, you got to remember, this thing is running, these are running for right around $100 right now, about 99 bucks. That is a bargain every day of the week. I'm telling you, for a solid metal gun that puts out this type of velocity and is this accurate with fully adjustable sights, you know, with that, I'm going to have to give this is a 5-star gun. It really is. The build quality on this, and I'm going to emphasize with you guys again, jump on this, get one of these, because I don't think they're making them anymore. So what's out there is all we're going to get. Now the back strap, I forgot to mention, the back strap on this is just molded in. It doesn't actually work, the safety back strap. That doesn't work. But the safety does, that does. You can actually lock the slide back if you want. You can go forward with that. I just had to make sure I mentioned that. And it does have some writing on the side, but it's not overly obnoxious. It's pretty small. We can go ahead and put up with that. But I think this is really, really a gun that is worth going in your collection. That's for sure. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Airgun Detectives. This is our special edition 1911 series. I'm going to try to feature a different 1911 pistol every month for you until I'm done with my collection. So this could be going on for a while, that's for sure. But anyway, with that, I appreciate the fact that you tuned in for another episode. Don't forget, this is where we take the mystery out of the air gun. Until next time, I hope your families are doing well and you're getting lots of shooting in. So stay healthy and God bless. Till next time.